Business Analytics course. This is Dr. Aruna Gudimetla, Associate Professor from MBA Department, MLR Institute of Technology. In today's session, we are going to explore descriptive statistical measures, in which we are going to focus more on measures of location. Going forward, so in this today's session, we are going to see the descriptive statistical measures, and more we are going to deep dive into the measures of location. The next, in the couple of sessions, we are going to explore measures of dispersion, measures of association, and apart from this, we are going to explore probability distribution. In this probability distribution, we are going to focus on discrete probability distribution, continuous probability distribution, and also we are going to focus on data modeling and distribution fitting with respect to descriptive statistical measures. Going forward, so descriptive statistical measures. Now, what does this mean? It is a tool that summarizes and presents the main features of the data set. Say, for example, central tendency, variability, and distribution. So, when we come across the data set, so whatever the data set we are having, from the data set, we are going to focus on the measures of central tendency, measures of variability, and also measures of distribution. Now, where do we exactly use this particular measures? So these measures help the researchers and administrators to quickly interpret the data without making inferences about the larger population. So this is about the main usage of descriptive statistical measures. And moreover, this descriptive statistical measures also help to simplify large data sets. We can also understand the patterns and we can also compare the data sets. Now, in this descriptive statistical measures, we are mainly going to focus on the three topics, that is measures of location, measures of dispersion, and measures of association. In today's session, we would be focusing more on measures of location. Now, measures of location. Measures of location refers to the central position or the relative standing of the data in a data set. So, whenever we are having the data set, in that data set, we are going to locate the central position or the relative position of the data. So, this helps us to understand where exactly the data points are located. Now, in fact, we can also say why this particular measures of location is important means this gives us a concise summary of the data. That is the reason this measures of location plays a very significant role. And it helps to identify what are the general trends and also makes us to do the comparisons between the different data sets. Now, under this measures of location, we are going to explore arithmetic mean, median, and also mode. Now, let us see what is arithmetic median. So, arithmetic median, it is the most common measure of central tendency. We all know that it is simply the average. It is sum of all the observations divided by number of observations. In mathematical form, we just represent x bar is equal to summation of x divided by n, where n stands for number of observations, summation x stands for sum of all the observations, and x bar stands to arithmetic mean or simply the average. Now, though we are aware about this mathematical function, we should also know what is the Excel function, because Excel has got some default functions where we can calculate the average, that is arithmetic mean, median, and mode, and so many other things like range, skewness, everything. For this, we are having so many functions which are built default in the Excel. Now, the Excel function with respect to calculation of arithmetic mean is equal to average data range. So, whatever the data we are having, so that data range we are going to select. Before that, we are going to use the function is equal to average. That we are going to explore in today's session in couple of minutes in Excel part. Now, the second one is median, which represents the middle value. So, whenever the data observations are arranged in the ascending order or descending order, so the middle value gives us the median of the data set. Now here again two questions arise, whether the data is an odd one or whether the data is an even one. Suppose if the number of observations is odd, simply the median would be n plus 1 divided by 2 to the power means n plus 1 by 2 the observation value is nothing but the median. We are going to find out, say for example, I have the data 10, 11 and 15. Now what is the median? Simply the middle number is 11. It is called as a median. Now when it comes to the number of observations are odd, so we have simply got the value as n plus 1 by 2 value or observation. But in case if the data set consists of even number of values, now how to calculate the median? Median is equal to middle value 1 plus middle value 2 by 2. Say for example, I have the data set 10, 11, 12 and 14. Now in this case, simply we are going to find out the middle one and middle two. So we are having 11 and 12. So 11 plus 12 divided by 2. So this accounts to 23 by 2, which is 11.5. That is the median of the value. Now for this, the function is equal to median data range. So as Excel has already got the functions, so the default function for calculating the median or to find out the median for the data set is equal to median data range. Please remember that for any function in Excel, we are first going to use the equal to symbol. Then only Excel can recognize the function has to be applied. Next, mode. Mode is the number or the observation in the central tendency which occurs more frequently. So simply, it is a measure of central tendency where the value occurs most frequently in the data set. Or simply we can say it is the value with highest frequency. But unlike mean and median, this particular mode can be used for both numerical data as well as categorical data. Even for both the types of data, we can use the mode. Now, a data set sometimes may have only single mode, we call it as unimodal. Sometimes it would have only two modes, we call it as bimodal. And if the data possesses more than two modes, we call it as multimodal. Now, in Excel, we have got the functions two different functions. One is mode.single, that is SNGL stands for single, the data range. Suppose if we are having multiple modes, we are having the function mode.multi data range. So that is called as to find out the values or to find out the mode. If we are having a single mode, we are going to use one function. If we are having multiple modes, we are going to use the multiple mode function. But in older versions of Excel, sometimes we may not come across this single and multi. Simply we may get the function as is equal to mode data range. Because of the lower versions, we may experience this problem, but in higher versions, we can easily get the different functions like mode.single or mode.mult. Okay. Now let us see the same or let us observe the same in Excel. Now if you can see here, we have the data. Say for example, we have here the two subjects like statistics. Let me get this. We have the two subjects, statistics and mathematics marks, and we are having the values in the two columns. Let me get all the borders for this. Yeah. And the centering the values. Yes. Now if it is clear. Yeah, we have the statistics marks and mathematics marks. So since we are into the concept descriptive statistics, let me show you first what exactly comes under descriptive statistics. Now on the ribbon, we have the data tab. Click on the data tab. Under this data tab, we have at the right side data analysis icon. Click on this data analysis icon. A dialog box opens with the data analysis. So in this, there is an option called as descriptive statistics. Click on the descriptive statistics and click OK. Now, immediately we see the descriptive statistics dialog box here. Now, it is asking us to give the input range. Now, select this particular option. Now, the data range I am selecting from A1 cell to 16B cell. So, this much the entire data I have selected, and I have selected even the field names, that is statistics as well as mathematics. I have selected the field names, so that means we call it as label names. Now, yeah, are they grouped by columns or rows? Obviously, they are grouped by columns. So, the radio button is checked. By default, the Excel selects the column. Suppose instead of columns, if we have the rows, then we are going to select this radio button, that is with rows. But as such, now we have the table with the columns only. So, I am sticking to the same radio button, that is columns. But we have selected here the statistics as well as mathematics also, because our data has been selected from A1 cell. So, simply we are going to select this checkbox, that is labels in the first row. So, you can see here that has been selected, and I want the output to be presented in the same worksheet. So, simply I am selecting the output range radio button here, output functions. So, where do you want the output to be displayed? Do you want the output to be displayed in the separate worksheet, separate workbook, or else in the same worksheet? So, I want it in the same worksheet. So, I am selecting this radio button. Now, I need to give the address where exactly I want to present the output. So, here I am selecting this tab. Now, somewhere here around in E2 cell, I want to display the output. So, I have selected the E2 cell and then close. And I also want the summary statistics, means what does this cover? In descriptive statistics, we come across mean, median, mode, skew, range, etc. All these things. Sum, highest observation, lowest observation, all these things. So, I want all the information to be displayed. So, I am selecting the summary statistics and then click OK. So, immediately we can see the statistics as well as the mathematics related information. If you can see here on the screen, so the mean is nothing but the average. Average here is 59.066. Standard error is also given, median is given, mode is given, and also standard deviation is given, sample variance is given, kurtosis is provided, skewness is provided, what is the range is provided, the minimum number, maximum number, the sum of all the observations, and the count of the observations. So, here we have taken some 15 observations, so the count is around 15. Similarly, for mathematics also we have got the entire information. So, this shows that in descriptive statistics we are going to look into, or we are going to get the particulars related to mean, median, mode, standard deviations, sample variance, kurtosis, skewness, range, maximum value, minimum value, number of observations in the data set, the sum of the total observations in the data set. All this information we are going to get it. Now that we have already seen functions which are related to today's measures of location, that is arithmetic mean, median, and mode. Today we will see the same functions for the same data, and we will just check whether our answers are correct to the answers which we got from using descriptive statistics. Now, so for example, here I am writing, we have seen today three kinds of measures which are associated with measures of location. The first one is arithmetic mean. Okay, so this is arithmetic mean, and the second one we are having median, and also we are having mode. Now let us see, let me check this. All right, I am going to make it bold so that it would reflect better, it would sound good. Yes, it is clearly visible. And also, now suppose in this, let me increase the font also so that it would give much more clarity. Yeah. Now, so we will see what is the function for arithmetic, and we have seen is equal to. Okay, so whatever the function we are going to use it in Excel, we are going to start it with equal to symbol. So is equal to I have used, and now I am going to type average. Once I type AVE, a small dialog box opens. So here under this we are having average deviation, average, and so many other options, average ifs, like that. So the second option itself is average. Just keep the cursor over here and double click it. Now it is asking me the data range. Now I want the data for example, I want to know the average for statistics. Now I have selected the data from A2 to A16. Now close the bracket and then click enter. Now if you can see here, I got 59.066. Now if we can show you, I am just highlighting with yellow color, and here also if you observe in the statistics, descriptive statistics output, here also we have obtained the same result, that is 59.066. Now in the similar way, let us see the functions. Now I want to find out even for mathematics also the same. Again I am repeating, you can just focus here, is equal to, using the function average. Once I type AVE, automatically a small dialog box opens or a pop-up menu opens, and here if I am selecting this average, I need to give the data range. Now I am selecting from B2 to B16 and just close the bracket and press enter. So here I am getting 57.4. So let me give this one a different color so that we can find it out, the difference. So I am giving here some light color, light green, so 57.4. Now if we can observe, the same result we have obtained, the same output we have obtained even for the output which we obtained through descriptive statistics. Now let us see in the similar fashion for median and mode. Now, so the function for median is equal to median, MED. Once I type the 3 letters, the 3 alphabets, automatically the median function we got it. Just simply double click it. Now it is asking for the data range. Select the data range from A2 to A16. Close the bracket, press enter. We got the answer 64. Now if we can see here, we are having here the same 64. Let me highlight with a different color. I think it's too dark. Yeah, 64. And the same you can witness here, the same 64 answer we got. Right. In the similar fashion, we can also get it for even mathematics is equal to, once again I am showing you, just is keep the equal to sign, then keep just type the 3 letters, that is 3 alphabets, MED. Automatically you are going to get the median option. Double click it and now give the data set or the data range. So I am giving from B2 to B16. Close the bracket, press enter. So here we are getting 61. Yes, the same 61 we have obtained here also. Let me give some more other color. Yeah, this is 61. And you can observe here, this is also 61, which we have obtained the median for mathematics. Now, the last one is mode. Now, for example, the function is equal to mode. In some systems, see if you can observe mode.mult, mode.single. Suppose you want the single function. So, simply, if you don't want to have a number of, if you are having any kind of doubt, whether it is mult or single, simply click on this mode and now give the data set. So in this data set, if you can select the data and close the bracket, press enter. So it is the 67. Now see here, the 67, the same answer we got even in the, just a minute. Even the same answer here we got from the descriptive statistics. Now, looking into the mathematics part, suppose if we want to find out the mode for this particular subject, that is mathematics, is equal to mode. So we have it out here. So let's not go into that. So directly I'm going into mode. Just double click it, and now select the data range and press enter. So here we got 89. So the same answer we are observing even in the mode for mathematics. So this is how we can get mean, median, mode information. Now if you observe this data set, are we having more than one mode in the first case? 48, 51, 67, 72, 64, 39, 84, 89, and so on. But we don't have two modes. Now suppose I want to find out, we have only one single mode, that is 67, and 67 has been repeated one time and two times. Suppose we wanted to know two times, means more than one mode. Okay. Now in that case, simply if you are changing the value, or else I am changing the value here, instead of 49 I am keeping 32, and I am changing this 89 also to 32. I am changing the values. Automatically you can see here the mode changes. Even in the table also you can see the table, it has been done earlier, so it is not changing, but the function, it is changing immediately because I have changed the values in the data set. Now if you observe here, the mode for mathematics is 89, means 89 is observed more than once. So here we have 89, and here also we have 89. Now just I wanted to change it. So for example, instead of 72, here I am giving 79, and here also around 81 I am giving it 71. Now let us see what is the difference. So you can see automatically the value, the mode value has changed to 71. And if you observe, even the median has changed for both the subjects. Even the mean, arithmetic mean has changed for both the subjects. So what is the advantage of these functions means, if we are making any changes in this data set, automatically it is going to reflect the answer. So this is one advantage of using the functions, default functions in Excel. So whatever the data range you are having, if you are to modify, say for example, these are the marks of the students, and unfortunately instead of getting the total 67, I have kept wrongly 43 marks. So I have changed this 43 marks to 67. Obviously, my arithmetic mean for this particular subject mathematics has changed. The median has changed. Of course, mode remains the same. Suppose the same student, instead of 67, he has, instead of 71 marks, he has obtained only 67. And one more person with 89 marks also obtained 67. So there are persons who have obtained 67 marks, 3 persons. And this is the number which has, this is the observation which has repeated more number of times. Automatically we can see that that is reflected in our answer, that is output. So the 67 becomes the mode for this particular data set. And this is what we have learned in today's session, how to calculate, how to use the functions, the default functions in Excel, and how to find out the arithmetic mean, median, and mode, and also how to use the descriptive statistics using data analysis option. Now we have changed the data set, and let me show you what is the change in the output we have obtained when we are using the same descriptive statistics. As the data has been changed, let me run one more time the descriptive statistics tool. So on the data tab, click on the data tab, click on the data analysis icon, and here when the dialog box opens, now click on select the descriptive statistics option and then click OK. Now here you are supposed to give the input. So select this one. Yeah, please select once again the same entire output. That means it starts from A1 and ends with the B16. So this is the data set we are giving. Yes, it is grouped by columns. Of course, the labels have been checked because I have selected the statistics as well as mathematics. And I want the data range in the same worksheet because I wanted to compare. So here what I am doing, I am giving the data here, that is J10. I want the output to be displayed at J10. Then click OK. And I want the summary statistics. So summary statistics has been checked in. And now click OK. Now if you can see here, if you observe, yes, this is the changed data, means the changed output. The output is based on the changed information. Now if you can see, the arithmetic mean is 54.133. Earlier it was 59.066. Now if you look at here, the median is 51. Earlier it was 64. Okay. And the mode is 67 in the earlier case, but now the mode is 32. So in this way, we can find out the differences. So once the data has been changed, automatically it is going to reflect in the output also. But in functions, immediately we can witness it. But whereas when we are using the data analysis tab tool, then we are supposed to run the data analysis tool one more time to get the latest output. In this way, we can find out arithmetic mean, median, and mode using the functions as well as descriptive statistics. Coming back, in today's session, we have discussed about what are descriptive statistical measures. We have run the data analysis tool. We have also seen the measures of location like arithmetic mean, median, mode. We have seen the functions. For arithmetic mean, we have seen is equal to average. We are simply writing the average and we are giving the data range. Whereas coming to median, we are using the function. So whenever we use the function in Excel, we are going to use the equal to sign. We are going to type median and we are supposed to give data range. And also mode. So here mode is equal to mode and let us give the data range. So whatever the data is there that we need to take, we are going to select it and we are going to find out the mode. If we are having more than single observation, we are going to use mode.mult and mode.single for different kinds of modes. But in some cases, in some versions, lower versions of Excel or older versions of Excel, we may not be able to find out mode.single or mode.mult. So there simply we would be using simply mode function. This is all we have learned in today's session. That is what exactly is descriptive statistical measures, what we are going to learn. And also we have focused more on measures of location, that is arithmetic mean, median, mode, and also the functions associated with these three measures. We shall see in the next concept, that is in the next sessions, measures of dispersion and also measures of association, and how those functions, what are the default functions that are available in Excel and how we are going to calculate it, that we are going to see in the next session. Until then, thank you. Stay tuned.